Hey guys, Jack here. Stick around after today's episode to hear how new clients can save 50% on AgYield's full suite of consulting and technology for 2025. This exclusive offer is available now until April 1st. Don't miss out. Terms and conditions apply. Check out the video description to learn more.
Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday, February 11th, and this is the AgYield War Room. I'm Dan Dempsey, and I'll be moderating today's session. As always, if you've got any questions or comments, please feel free to drop us a line in the chat area, and we'll be sure to get to it during the show. Overnight markets here at March corn unchanged at 491.5. March soybeans were up a half at 10.50, and March Chicago wheat was up 2 1/4 at 581 3/4. We are through 6 of 19 settlements for the spring crop insurance discovery period. Corn is currently sitting right about 468, and soybeans are right about 1063. Good morning, guys. Hope everybody's doing good. We've got USDA report out here 11 o'clock Central today. Ben, maybe kick us off with a few thoughts you got on your mind this morning, and then we'll throw it around the room.
Yeah, February WASDE is not typically one that anyone gets really worked up about. When I look at it today, I want to see if there's a continuation to move corn supplies in a little bit tighter direction. That's been the trend here for, 6, 7 reports in a row, multiple reports. I think you'll get big numbers out of South America, and no one should be shocked by them. And then we continue trading, right? Corn's in a demand market. Beans probably just not a big event between, I would say, if I was going to pick a range, 10 and 11. And corn finds demand, right? It doesn't have to break far to go find the next buyer. So, after the report, we'll go back to trading what's here. And if there's any surprises, it'll be if they move corn stocks lower, and by how much. So that's really what I'm looking for today. So.
And Dustin, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of times it's not the biggest report. What's the USDA's opinion worth? We have a lot of this data already. We've had really good sales announcements, that are current, up to date. We know EIA numbers. We have private estimates in South America. I will say, if you just simply look at that Jan report, though, the USDA chose with, the one number I think we can call firm is their stocks count, even though that's been under question the last 5 years under some late large revisions, after the fact. But if you just look at their stocks drop, they made some pretty broad assumptions about, the data that came in about yield in, across the country. They lowered yield, and they ended up lowering the carryout down to the 154 where it is today, under that broad assumption. But it wasn't that large of a stocks drop. You could have easily seen them say, well, we still got the yield, demand was higher, and that would have been completely justified from the market's perspective. And the market absolutely took that data and they were impacted by it. And so they could do the same again today, right? They could lower stocks from 154 to 14 if they wanted to. And the market would probably respond positively because it's reactionary to that number. But it still comes to the question of what's the market's opinion of what's the worth of the USDA economist? Because a lot of this data we already have. And I know everyone's going to be trading it, of course, but I think the market was telling us something very strong before we got to the Jan report with inverted spreads. We just couldn't see it until we started to actually see the tightness show up. I would be more curious to see what happens in the following 3 days here after this report, and more importantly, what happens after that March 31st report. That's the next probably big one that we're really counting on, which is if that is new information. The acres on the survey as well as stocks count.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we'll get, kind of first look at some balance sheets for next year on the February outlook forum. That'll be out February 27th, 28th is when they come out. Justin, what are your thoughts just overall on the markets and kind of the makeup we have here?
Yeah, no, I think Dustin and Ben did a good job. It's, we're in a good market, and this is a great time of year for this to happen. So we're getting, much better crop insurance prices than maybe we thought was possible 60 days ago. So I'm just excited about the overall setup that we have here. I kind of go back to you're in a balance here where, to Ben's point, if you break, you're finding demand. On new highs and rallies, we continue to see farmers selling and hedging both U.S. and South America. I think it's a healthy market. I think it's I don't think you can say that the current price is very far away from where it should be for what we know today. You got a lot of information coming out between now and the March 31st report. A lot's going to convince me of quite a few things on what the acreage mix could be. Cotton prices are in the tank. They're really low. So I think we're probably stealing corn and bean acres from cotton. Some of these mixes could be interesting. And now you are getting a little more exciting on corn. So maybe the attitude's just improving overall to more of a friendly outlook. So it wouldn't surprise me to see more corn acres in the I states just because of the, general attitude, but we'll see. I think we're already trading probably a 95 million type number, or at least I think that's the general kind of consensus right now. Mm-hmm. Can't argue that, obviously we've talked a lot about, kind of the tricky part of that with the ratio of the high flat price or low flat price, high input costs. I think it's going to be a fun market. I think we're going to have an interesting summer and a good setup for good trading markets. So,
no, very good. I think there's a lot of chatter from folks, as we've continued to build a record long in corn, and you've talked a lot about it, Justin. I know it's impossible to predict, but just some of your top of head thoughts, like what shakes this big long out of the market or spooks them with the makeup we have here today? Yeah,
well, you gotta start losing money first, so it's right. You can't spook somebody that makes money every day. So they've got, the funds, they flipped at the lows. I mean, so they went from a big short to a big long. The market accommodated them because obviously there's a lot of farmers selling that had to take place. So huge transfer of ownership. They're at really profitable positions. So they're going to keep adding as long as it keeps working, and these markets get tricky because, I think we were talking before the show, but you kind of get domino effect of the next thing happens. And at first you don't understand why they're getting long at the lows, because everything was pretty bearish. And then, a couple of things happen and all of a sudden our carryout's kind of tight and, yada, yada. So we've got, this Mexican demand's been phenomenal. We talked about this last week, but everyone's buying U.S. corn right now. So it's well priced, so as long as that continues, I think there's gonna be buyers on breaks. And like I said, I'm excited about the market in general. I'm not saying, we're going a lot higher or anything like that. I think we're just in a really good base market right now.
Oh, very good. And we will we'll be back with our thoughts here. It'll probably be short and sweet given the, it's not a generally complex or very deep report here, but we will be out with our thoughts at 11:15 just to give everybody a market snapshot and then talk through what, if anything changed that's worth noting. Ryland, we've got a couple of minutes here. Looks like in the cattle markets, we're waiting for beef markets and certainly cash to develop. And then hogs kind of mixed yesterday, but certainly big ranges to get them mixed. So what are your thoughts here this morning?
Yeah, I think a lot of eyes on the weather this week just to see if Packers are going to come out bidding early. I mean, obviously we got a nice little bounce here. It's very welcomed. Beef prices were back up and we had a really light kill. So it seems like all these things are culminating right now. We'll see how this shakes out. But I think everybody's kind of hoping to see that kind of early Packer interest right right now, but there really hasn't been any cash trade on the table. So there could be a big reaction off of the report as well, just how grains perform. So just kind of taking it all in stride right now, mainly just watching to see if we start getting any indications on the cash side of the market in cattle. We're seeing open interest start to decline in February and April right now, to be expected now that February is in delivery and there's been no deliveries at this point. Not shocking, given the big discount on the board, which I think is really enticing, I think, from the buy side of the market. But overall, it just seems like you priced in a lot of really bad cash news, and we need to kind of see how that shapes up this week. On the hog side of the market, cut out really strong yesterday, really got the market whooped up. You trade to a new high for the moves, the highest April's been since December 3rd. So there's a lot of real solid optimism here. Maybe the weather has something to do with it, but overall, it just seems like demand is really firm right now. We got cut out up $2.62, and bellies have been really strong here just the past couple of days. So a lot of eyes on the belly market as well. So overall, just kind of watching those as we're moving forward. But I think at this point, the seasonal is still relatively in more of a friendly kind of trajectory overall. So we'll see if that holds true.
Very good. Appreciate the update. Well, again, here real quick, USDA report, 11 o'clock Central. We'll be back with a bonus edition of the War Room at 11:15 to give a quick rundown of the markets and update on what the report had to say. Also in the outro, Jack's got some good information. This up until April 1st here, we're running some real special pricing for folks that want to give AgYield a shot. We've got crop insurance discovery going on. We've talked about it ad nauseum in terms of doing a deep dive into your crop insurance. Make sure that you're using all the products that are best suited and available for you here this year, and also how those all integrate within a real good marketing strategy. So give us a call. We'd love to visit with you about your individual operation. Appreciate everybody that tunes in on a daily basis. If you wouldn't mind, throw us a like and certainly subscribe. It'll keep you up to speed on everything that's going on with AgYield. And again, thanks to everybody that supports the show. We're doing this live every morning that the markets are open, streaming live on X, Facebook Live, and YouTube Live, 8:15 Central Time. Appreciate the thoughts and comments here this morning, guys. It was a good show. Hope everybody has a good day. We will be back at 11:15. Until then, thanks a lot.
At AgYield, we know that farmers are constantly confronted by new challenges, and 2025 is no exception. Markets are volatile, margins are shrinking, and lender confidence is in free fall. Farmers need industry support now more than ever, which is why we are offering something truly unprecedented. From now until April 1st, new AgYield clients can access our full suite of consulting services and cutting-edge technology at 50% off. This is more than a promotion. It's our way of extending a hand of support to farmers when they need it most. From precision grain marketing to innovative risk management strategies, we're committed to protecting your farm's profitability and building a stronger, more sustainable future. And together, we can weather the storm ahead. Visit us today at agyield.com or call 855-266-6241 to get started. Terms and conditions apply. Check out the video description to learn more.